This week on Xenomania, join us as we travel to the Mississippi Delta to explore the woven world of Ryan Coogler's Sinners. Along the way, find out which two of us think Michael B. Jordan is amazing. This is Sinners, and we are a sinful Xenomania.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Something about a movie with that southern music. I think that's
Blues?
what kicked this one up. I mean, is that what this is? Is it blues? Is it fusion?
It is blues.
It's
No,
definitely
a fusion.
I mean, it turns into fusion, but it starts out as pure blues. And like that scene is just incredible the way they meld the blues into every single music form that sprung from the blues afterwards. And it's every single thing you listen to today was influenced by a blues musician.
100% true.
And
That's that whole
even
muddy
earlier
waters.
than this, even earlier than 1933 when Sinners takes place. The blues starts early 1900s, late 1800s, and everything you listen to now is based on that.
I mean, it kicks the movie up a notch for sure. One of the things,
Mm-hmm.
what's the name of the kid? Because he's an actual singer, the kid in the movie, right?
The actor is Miles Catton. The character is Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy's got chops. And
Yeah.
he proved that at the Oscars too.
Yeah. I'm sure that's a recorded performance at the Oscars, but you don't. To see somebody that young with that voice is almost unnerving. Like you don't get that voice at. He's like 21 years old. You don't get that voice at that age.
Nah, there's people out there who would say it's not his first time around the block. He's been around a few lifetimes.
Yeah, and that's 20 years of hard living before you have that voice.
It's possible, by the way.
It's not only the voice, but it's also how he picks the guitar because he's not using a pick, he's using his fingers. And if you've ever picked at a guitar with your fingers, those wires will cut you if you do it correctly, especially bass wires. So him picking at it in those scenes, especially driving with Stacks, what?
Incorrectly or correctly? You want to bleed?
Well, no, like you don't want. I mean, correctly when you start bleeding, you're doing it correctly.
I mean,
Oh,
But
okay.
like,
but
it hurts. Like, yeah, I mean, it's like you're pulling the strings on it. He does it great. I mean, it's just impressive, along with the deep voice, as you're saying.
So if you watch the extras on the physical release
Of Sinners, the movie
of
that we're
Sinners,
discussing,
the
by
movie
the
that
way.
we're discussing, Sinners, he learned to play guitar for this movie. This was not,
No.
yes, this was not something he had before this movie.
Wow,
Wow. Is that a root beer? Hold on, pause the show.
It is
that is a root beer.
You're having an A&W root beer right now?
Yep.
Oh
Hold
my
on.
God. I've never
What's
been so
better?
envious of anything.
Don't get
Root
too
beer-
heavy. It's zero sugar.
No, those
Oh,
are still
they're
good.
So good, dude.
They're still good.
What's better? What, Ryan? Are you going to compare root beer brands?
Root beer or cream soda?
Root beer.
Root beer.
Really?
Root beer.
All right.
100%.
Yep.
What's better, Stewart's or A&W?
A&W.
I have to say A&W because I don't think
Yeah.
Stewart's has a zero sugar and I can't do the sugar.
Oh.
Well,
all right.
how about mugs?
No.
Oh no!
No,
And
Mugs-
Sorry,
Mugs is
sorry.
better.
Do the
Incorrect.
Coors
Barks
Light
is-
of root beer.
Whoa! Barks is good.
It doesn't
Barks
have
is
bite.
good.
Barks is an A&W.
If you
Yeah,
want to
but
have
then-
a real good one, though, it's not root beer, but it's red birch beer. You go to Salsa
Ooh,
Fresca
yes.
and get the red birch beer.
Birch
Yeah,
beer
that's
is
a-
really good.
That's a vibe, man.
Now we're talking.
Your feet start tingling with the pre-diabetes when you drink it. It's so good.
Yeah, the diabetes.
All right, I guess back to Sinners, I suppose.
Back to Sinners. But so not only that, the other real solid musical performance in this is Pearl when she
Yeah.
sings right before. She's not a singer. She basically learned to do that during rehearsals for the movie too.
That's
so
very impressive.
everyone's on the fly, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, like the guy that plays Sammy is an actual R&B singer, so this singing is real.
Okay.
But beyond that, like
Plummet.
they all learned to do this stuff on the fly.
That is crazy. I'm sure they had a lot of good coaches and stuff. Like, I don't think they
Mhm.
sat in a garage and just figured this out, but that's still really, really cool.
Mhm.
On a 90 to $100 million budget, we're all working on the fly here. And
Yeah,
it
I
earned
mean,
370.1 million. So I mean, it worked.
but this is really what Ryan Coogler did. Like, for the authenticity of a period piece in 1933, deep South Mississippi Delta, for a guy born in New Zealand to come and be able to infuse the history, the American history he puts into this. We'll get into at some point the black movie versus what this really is, which is an American movie.
Yep.
But for a guy who didn't grow up in this culture to come here and be able to pull off the historical elements of this is really impressive. He has to have spent a lot of time on that.
Oh, yeah.
And like I can go into it. I mean, like you start in the heart of the Great Depression.
Yep.
You know,
Which was a good time. People enjoyed themselves,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
especially
Anytime.
African Americans.
Yeah. At the beginning of Sinners, we're already 4 years into a depression that really in Mississippi had started even before what the lay people will say the stock market crash started the Great Depression. Now that's just whatever. But really, it's 2, 3, 4 years before that. There's flooding. There's boll weevils. There's the disparity in economics between poor and wealthy landowners, and then the disparity between black and white. By the time this movie starts, cotton is selling for a nickel a pound.
Wow.
That's cheap.
So you're working out in that field all day
For a nickel.
for a nickel.
Yeah, that's
That's-
wild.
The proportions on receiving money at that time is very, very off. But also,
Well-
like, I mean, it's where it's located too.
Yeah, in Mississippi. So the thing
Yeah.
too, but well, I mean, national demand is national demand. So what they're paying for a bag of cotton isn't necessarily what they're making for selling it. But they're so that brings up a good opportunity for us to talk about sort of the reappropriation of slavery, which
Mhm.
is, not something people love to talk about too much, but once slavery is abolished, then Jim Crow comes, the apprenticeship programs come, and it's just slavery with new steps
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
socioeconomic down, like keeping them down, the freed.
Yeah. Because what you're getting into sharecropping, you're just low paid slaves at that point in a cycle of poverty. You're never getting out of it. Whether it's depression or whether it's what you have to pay to the landowner to continue to be there. You're not, and then to add to that, most of the time, you're not getting paid in US currency.
Yeah.
You're getting paid in these plantation scripts or wooden nickels, which becomes a very important plot point too. When Smoke and Stack realize we're not making money, we're losing money tonight because all these people have to pay with is wooden nickels.
Which is kind of wild.
And really, there were two places you could use wooden nickels at in the South at that point in time. You could use them at a black-owned business, or you could use them at the plantation store. So, you have money, but it's worthless. You have
Also-
land, but it's not really yours.
It's
And
not
then
yours at all. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you add in, there's a moment where they drive past the prison work gang. And at that point, that's just straight out slavery.
Yeah, but they throw you in, you're fully incarcerated. Well, I mean, we could talk about private prisons like now.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
the racket that
yeah.
is too.
Yeah.
But I digress.
At least at this point, there are a few greater protections for people. At the time Sinners is set, they're just, you looked at somebody wrong. You just, you're arrested for being black.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then,
Then like that's not even getting into sundown towns and things
Yeah.
like that too. Like we're just getting into the systemic stuff, not even the horrible beatings and lynchings and whatnot.
Mhm.
I mean, it ain't February, but I feel like Sinners winning made it a redux for Black
Mhm.
History Month, just to kind of remember what this was like for them.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, Kugler really finds all this stuff and makes it important to the story. And he uses these historical elements to advance what he's doing here.
It definitely highlights his screenwriting ability, especially because like
Mhm.
every beat of the story flows nicely with the history that he's presenting. And it's not
Mhm.
only like the history of Mississippi, we're also getting into like the culture going on in Chicago because that's where Smoke and Stack are coming
Mhm.
from. After
Yeah.
World War I, they join like the opposite mobs, Stack with the Italian mob, Smoke with the Irish mob. You kind of see their mentality, which is nice. And you're talking about that scene with the money because
Mhm.
at that time, I feel like with prohibition and everything going on, Elliot Ness, the Untouchables, Stack kind of goes with the flow. While
Mhm.
while with the Irish mob, they were a little more aggressive, as I would say would be a good word to put them,
Mhm.
and they were
They were
more like
less
more
civilized.
Mhm.
yes. And
And
Smoke is like, I don't want to accept this money, really.
yeah, yeah, Stack is the more sort of socially conscious one in that regard. He understands the value of having a juke joint. But if you want to circle back to prohibition, we think of prohibition starting at one time. In Mississippi, prohibition started in 1907.
I
Yeah.
did not know
And
Why?
that.
and did not officially end until 1966.
Why so early? Like,
Religion, I mean,
Mississippi.
religion,
oh, okay.
Mississippi, but also, if you want to get into the racial elements of this, many prohibition advocates believe that selling alcohol to African Americans would increase attacks on white women and reduce productivity.
Reduced productivity is wild. I mean, the
Yeah,
attacks
and
on white women aspect is because they're dumb
that's
yokels.
wild too.
Yeah,
But it's any man is
yeah,
capable of attacking a woman. But the reduced productivity is literally like slave owner talk.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, even though it's prohibited in Mississippi from 1907, there's a 10% tax on illegal alcohol sales. So the government's still getting their cut.
Yeah, which is
Right.
also hilarious.
And their cut is insane. I found a couple of conversions into modern money. A gallon of moonshine sold for $25 back then. That would be $325 to $400 today.
I mean, that's
Imagine
some
how
pure
far you
stuff.
can. Yeah, you can
White
spread that
lightning.
gallon out for a
Hmm.
while though, because
Hmm.
that
You'd
stuff
have to.
burn your
You'd
hair
have.
off.
I mean, these are the beer prices up 700%. Brandy
Well,
400%.
that's the same thing. The argument was that when they
Right.
legalized cannabis, it would drive down the prices of drugs because on the
Hmm.
black market, the drugs are going to be more expensive. But then they just taxed the hell out of them and made them twice as expensive as they were when they were illegal. So
Hmm.
it's, somebody's robbing you either way.
Oh, the government's definitely cleaning up on that. And,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, I mean, like the taxes for that is incredibly high. I mean, maybe it had a connection lowering like the house taxes, but house
I
buying
don't see
taxes, but
my house taxes aren't lower.
No, nothing got lower. And basically, Prohibition created the Capones and the Irish mobs in Chicago and everywhere else.
Yeah.
Is that was the first vice. That was the vice that they were really peddling at that point. You didn't have the drug sales that you have now. You didn't, prostitution and alcohol.
I
Yep.
mean, what was it out in the West? You had the opium dens and stuff, but that
Yeah,
really wasn't like a go-to. It was like I
yeah.
feel like that was more controlled and legal.
Well, yeah, you had the opium dens because of the Asian populations. They brought that with them to a place that didn't really want them any more than Mississippi wanted free black
No.
people.
Yeah.
No.
People gloss over what happened to the Chinese in this country.
Hmm. Yep.
When they
Yep.
built the
Yep.
railroads, they were murdered en masse often. Train
Yep.
Dreams actually is a great
Yep.
scene.
Yep.
Great scene. Another movie. Another
Which,
good movie. Did pretty badly at the Oscars.
which is why you wind up with the Chow family in Mississippi. You get
Mhm.
what seems like a random Chinese family there, but they came in the post-slavery era because they needed workers, plantation workers. So the Chinese came and found Oh, we don't really like this plantation stuff. We have enough money. Let's open some stores in town. So there were a lot of Chinese owned businesses in the Mississippi Delta in this time period.
Which I found interesting that the segregation did not count for them. Like they were able to.
No, no, because they were just as hated as blacks were as anybody else was who wasn't a white person.
Yeah, the blue bloods were the only ones who considered themselves real Americans. They were the slave owners too, if you were in the South, that is, or the North for that matter. There are plenty of them too. People
I mean,
forget that. It wasn't like there
well,
was a line and everybody was happy with black people being free.
yeah. Well, that sort of goes into Smoke and Stack and then eventually Sammy going to Chicago.
Yeah.
That's the Great Migration. This is, freed slaves moving north to try to escape Jim Crow and find better paying jobs and get away from the violence in the South, only to get to cities like Chicago and find, yeah, there's jobs, but they don't like us any more than they
Right.
did in the South.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then when they go back to the South and Sinners, it's like they're reclaiming their culture, which is a cool
Yes.
aspect of the movie. I think they pulled off very well.
Yes.
with that,
Well,
because
yes.
bluegrass, not bluegrass, I'm sorry, blues.
Blues.
Yeah, blues. Whereas bluegrass is the
This
white
ain't
version,
Deliverance.
the white version of it. But blues,
We get a really good bluegrass performance in this too.
You do. We
that's-
do.
That is true. We do see some interesting things from the evil vampires.
Remick. Remick?
Karamic?
Remick.
We don't have to roll through the plot. If you haven't seen Sinners, go see it. So the fun really starts to kick off. They don't shy away from taking the time to develop the story.
No, not at all.
And so it's a slow burn, not in a bad way.
This,
Until
it's about an hour.
about 1 hour before the things start to pop off.
Yeah, it's not a horror movie until about an hour in.
Dusk till dawn.
Which actually, I have a question about that. Do you think it's in the vibe of like the Silence of the Lambs? Like people think it's horror. Everyone, we think it's drama. People mix it. Rewatching Sinners for a second time, I felt it was more of a drama. Like, yeah, you have horror elements, but it's more, I would say, drama thriller with that vampire-esque to it.
It's difficult to rationalize for me with the gore and stuff. Silence of the Lambs wasn't a particularly gory film. It did have some gore, the face and
Yep.
things like that. But I think it's easier to make the argument for a movie like Silence of the Lambs not being horror, like John does it very effectively, than Sinners, because it's just like we talked about this with From Dusk Till Dawn, which I brought up earlier. There's parallels there to the movie switching. There's a switch that's flipped at one point.
Yep.
It does become horror later. And in the beginning, it is sort of like a period piece, a la
Yeah.
Moulin Rouge, with vibrant colors and
Yes,
stuff.
absolutely, absolutely. So, in bringing up Silence of the Lambs, this seems like a good time to transition to our game.
I forgot we play games.
I'll tell you what it
Every
is
week.
because it requires some form of explanation. There are, across the internet, they only credit there being 8 horror movies that were nominated for Academy Awards ever.
There's
It's
more.
really 9 because for some reason the lists don't include Frankenstein. And I
Really?
wanted to believe that was a result of, them being published before the nominations this year, but Sinners on them. So I'm going to say there are 9. We're going to do a slasher stash of the 9 movies that are considered to be horror movies that were nominated for Best Picture.
Okay.
You're
Alright.
going to get to stash 4 of 9. So
Ooh.
4
4 of
stashes,
9.
5 slashes.
Wait, 4 stashes, 5 slashes, and this has a relation to my top 5, funny enough, later tonight.
And he brings out Get Out for number 1. Of
I
course.
mean, this is going to be brutal. I'm telling you right now, to bring this down to 4 is probably the meanest game I've ever pulled.
Ooh. It's
If
exciting.
you have the top 9 and at doing research on this, I'm gonna slash this. It's a great film, but you got some stuff in the bag that I don't want to slash.
It's difficult for me to slash this because I'm not a racist. So I No jabs being thrown.
That was
Oh,
that was the
that,
subtlest of jabs right there.
that was
sir.
a hook. That was a right hook.
I'm kidding. It has nothing to do with race. I enjoyed this movie because of the body snatcher vibes. I thought that twist was super duper cool. I'm gonna stash it. I don't know. It came out at the right time too. It was kind of a breath of fresh air. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that Jordan Peele sticks to the same script, but like M. Night Shyamalan did with The Sixth Sense, like this is the first of them, and I mean this one was really good. So I'm gonna stash it.
Okay, yeah.
Do you think because he was nominated for an Oscar, do you think he deserved to win it? Daniel Kaluuya?
No.
I don't
No?
remember who was nominated that year.
Yeah, let's
I
look
don't
up.
remember who won.
It was the 90th Academy Awards, which was Get Out was 2014.
Oh God. He was up against Fred Hampton, Judas and the Black Messiah won? No, wait. Oh no, he won for Best Supporting Actor in Judas and the Black Messiah. So the Google search did nothing for me. Basically, it just gave me what he won. Hooray. 2014 Oscars, was that it?
Yes, 90th Oscars.
All right, so who was... But this wasn't an amazing performance. Like, he cried. There was a tear.
Let's see.
Um,
I was shocked. That was the year Guillermo del Toro won too.
Gary Oldman won for Darkest Hour this year. No shot, bro.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
No
That's-
shot.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
And Denzel Washington was up too. Not
Timothy
a
Chalamet.
chance, bro.
Chalamet was up.
This was stacked. Daniel Day-Lewis, Gary Oldman, and Denzel Washington. This kid never had a shot.
That's a
Oh,
rough
that's
year to be
messed up.
nominated.
Yeah, bro. Daniel Day-Lewis being in the same, like, hearing your name and his name in the same sentence must feel so humbling.
That's a tough one.
Yep. So, but even
Alright,
still,
fair.
like, I don't think that his performance was Best Actor worthy. I think it was a great movie and he did a good job. But I mean, Gary Oldman won it for playing Winston Churchill.
Fair.
And like that's kind of like right into the Academy. Like, oh, historical performance or this guy in a horror movie.
Yep, exactly.
Well, he kicked ass still. Just
Oh, I mean,
saying.
it's a great performance.
Then why didn't you stash the film?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I know there's more coming.
I
all
know.
right?
So,
There's-
listeners, Ryan doesn't have tiki torches in his garage. What the problem is that he knows John's evil and that I'm probably going to regret stashing Get Out. But
I mean, at some point, I think you're both going to run into a problem. Movie number 2.
the Makeout movie.
I've only seen the one scene with her transformation, so I'm gonna slash it.
I can't tell the story about Black Swan that I want to tell because it involves people that we can't mention on the podcast, unfortunately. But suffice to say, this movie has had a very drastic impact on our lives and involves like a detective story and trying to figure out who done it and all sorts of stuff. And I'm not even talking about the film. I'm just talking about what we have to do to deal with a YouTube clip of this film wherein Natalie Portman makes out with Mila Kunis.
Yep.
Oh, Lord. Black Swan. I'm slashing it just for that, actually. Hours of my life gone because of this damn movie.
Didn't even watch the full thing.
I liked this movie. It was good and it was unique. Also a nice twist.
Yeah. It's a fine movie. I don't consider it to be a horror movie, but it's a fine movie.
Nah, I don't think it's a horror movie either.
Do people
All right.
consider it?
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's here.
It's a drama.
It's on every list of horror movies nominated for Academy Awards.
I don't agree with that.
I don't either, but here it is. Movie number 3.
Ooh,
Stash.
Yeah, stash.
I knew
Dash it twice.
I knew that one was gonna get the double
Yeah,
stash.
It's
I mean,
so
it
good.
still holds up. I've watched it 4 times now.
Are you gonna watch
So good.
Is the Criterion collection edition's gonna have a longer cut? Are you gonna pick that up?
I might have to. That might be my first Criterion too.
Ooh,
And my
yeah.
first physical copy of anything other than a video game in probably 25, 30 years.
Well, you're doing it right for Mr. Del
Actually,
Toro.
20 years. I have a whole like little Rolodex thing downstairs with 250 DVDs in it. Not like John. John's a purist. He keeps them in the case and all that. I just like.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
The
you
cases
can't.
are art themselves.
I still have Con Air.
I can't wait to show you guys the version of Poltergeist I just bought.
Oh, sick.
Ooh, I'm ready.
It's not in yet, but
Oh,
when it comes in, oh
Is it
my
like-
god.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it looks amazing. All right. Movie number 4.
Frankenstein. Oh, I
Well,
gotta
how many-
stash it, dude.
wait, how
How do
many
you cut
stash?
Jaws? We can stash 4. This will be my third. Your second.
4. And then
You-
5
I-
slash.
And I would
Ooh.
consider Jaws a horror movie as well. If not just for like the fact that it's impossible to watch politicians like feeding people to the meat grinder.
Yeah, I'll stash it.
I have to stash it. It's Jaws.
I do enjoy Jaws.
I'm
It's a good
angry.
film.
This didn't win, did it?
No.
No true horror movie has won
Well, for best picture or just like
for
in
best
general?
picture.
Shape of Water better not be on here.
It's not. And Shape of
not
Water.
horror.
Shape of Water doesn't count as horror. Nobody puts that in as horror.
Do they
Good.
consider Pan's Labyrinth horror? I would
They do not.
think.
If-
No.
I was gonna say.
I
'cause
mean,
I'm
they
gonna
might.
have to
They
take a
might,
spot
but
for
I
that.
don't think it. Yeah. Next,
Ooh, I'm gonna
on a
just-
previous edition of.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real.
this is what started our year, and I'm gonna slash it.
I'm gonna slash it too. I'm gonna have to slash it.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. This was. I feel like this was nominated for the Phenomena.
Yeah.
It was such a cultural touchstone.
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean, it's not. It's not a best picture when you watch it. You kind of know
Well-
what you kind of watch a movie like that, and you know whether it really deserves a best picture or not. And I
I
didn't
mean-
feel like this did.
Now they have original screenplay and adapted screenplay, the separate categories. I think in
Mm.
'99 it was still one category, but if that was in original screenplay, I believe it could have won that.
It could
Yeah.
have.
But-
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, being against, I don't know what was up that year, but being against other scripts, adapted and original, I mean, it didn't have a chance.
No.
I-
I mean, listen, I thought it was a
mean,
fine movie. I don't think it's a best picture.
It's a one-trick pony, though. Yeah, exactly. Like
Yes.
it's a good one-off, and then after that, it's used up almost completely. I have watched it again many years later. I enjoyed it, but I was like, all right. I don't remember why everybody was freaking out so hard.
It's a good watch. It's a good watch.
It's fine.
You know.
It's fine. It's yeah. Next. Previously on Xenomania.
Ooh, I do like the substance, but I don't think I'm gonna have an easier time slashing this than some of the other ones for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna slash it too.
Because, like I said, I don't identify with the plight as well. I think that this is a movie for Hollywood people who are getting old, and it's so hard.
It's excellent though how they
It
do
is
it.
excellent. It is an
I've-
excellent movie.
I have to say, I really love this artwork for it. Like,
It's
with
pretty
Yeah,
the-
this is pretty cool.
not the version of her lying on the bathroom floor, but this version I like a lot.
Hmm.
It's just
All right.
clean. It's just it works.
Mm-hmm. Next,
Ooh.
Dash. Damn it, John. Because I know his next one. How do you slash The Exorcist? So this is where I regret keeping Get Out, by the way, but can't be
I mean,
racist.
you were gonna regret keeping something because this is an amazing list of movies.
Here's my question, because like I said, it's related to my top 5.
This one could.
Are you evil and do you have Rosemary's Baby on here? Because after watching that, I actually prefer Rosemary's Baby over The Exorcist.
I'd pick.
Was it nominated
Exorcist
for
over
Best
the
Picture?
Rosemary's Baby.
No,
I
it
think
was
so.
not.
No, it was no. Oh,
These
so
are
you're just doing.
only
Best
nominees,
Picture?
Only
All right.
Best Picture.
You know what? Then I don't want Pazuzu visiting me tonight, so I'm gonna stash it.
Yeah, I gotta stash this. But
Yeah,
you
it's
still
so
have
good.
one left.
Yeah, Ryan gets
oh,
the stash one. Kearns, you're cutting this.
All right, it's fine.
Wait, hold on. This is like a first time where the movie we're covering is actually in the top 5.
I think that
Yep.
Get Out actually
Oh.
beats Sinners as far as being a better film.
Oh, sacrilege!
Oh, I absolutely
no,
do not.
I
think it
disagree.
does.
I
think it
disagree. Sinners is definitely the
This one's more
cinematography, the
vibrant
music.
and stuff, but the messaging What is the messaging in Sinners?
But Sinners is more of the melting pot. I feel like you get the mix of like you're centered on one culture, but you see that it's a mix of other cultures into one.
Yeah, it's very
Wow, with
interpretive. Whereas with
Get
Get
Out, it's
Out,
a
it's about
takeover.
it's about assimilation, which is
Yeah.
it's a huge problem with Black America with regard to, do you behave as though you are black or do you behave as though you are white and be accepted? And that's always been a massive thing. There's Thoreau talked about this, for Christ's sake. So I don't know. I'm good with Get Out. I
Mhm.
appreciate you guys liking Sinners better though.
Ryan,
bet
you
you're
stashing Sinners?
Yeah, I'm gonna stash it because you probably have Silence of the Lambs as the last one, and I'm like, I'll slash that. I'm okay. I'm all hyped out
And
over that. Is
I
it
you
think it's
Silence
would
of the
just that
be
I
Lambs?
don't like
correct.
Michael B.
Yeah.
Jordan.
You would
What?
be correct. You don't like Michael B. Jordan?
I
He's
never liked
great.
Michael B. Jordan.
I
Did
mean,
you watch him in The
he's not
Wire?
my favorite Michael Jordan, but he's a good second Michael Jordan.
No, I just think he's a terrible actor.
Real?
Yes.
Really?
He was bad in Creed, all of them. The first one's passable because it was a well-written movie, but all of the follow-ups are supposed to rely on him to carry it, and they don't.
Black Panther.
He doesn't. Terrible.
Killmonger.
He did a terrible job. He's the most unauthentic actor I think I've ever seen that's super hyped up. I feel like I could watch Tom Holland recite Shakespeare over Michael B. Jordan playing an action hero and be believable.
I mean, I can.
It's so
Well-
hard for me. Well, Guy Montag, he ruins Guy Montag in the Fahrenheit 451 movie. He's terrible.
That whole movie.
That's a
was-
script issue
Hold
too.
on. First off, that whole movie is ruined. They don't. If they follow what the book is, we'd be fine.
But if you
but
watch
they don't.
his Oscar acceptance speech and then watch him act in that movie, it's the same person. There's no acting going on.
Well-
That's my point with him.
Well,
Let me transition back to the Oscars, because that's one of the other points I wanted to bring up tonight. Sinners falls into multiple disrespected categories at the Academy Awards. We just
Really?
went through 9 horror movies that were nominated for Best Picture. Only 9. None of them won. There have only been, now with Michael B. Jordan, 8 performances in horror movies to win Academy Awards. Not be nominated, there's a few more, but to win. And it's 2 of them are this year, Amy Madigan and Michael B. Jordan this year. You have Natalie Portman, Anthony Hopkins, Kathy Bates, Jodie Foster,
A lot of whites.
Ruth Gordon in Rosemary's Baby, and Frederick March in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's it.
the Frederick March one. Okay.
Yeah. That's it. Those are the only performances that have won an Academy Award for a horror movie.
Wow.
Spencer Tracy in that one.
It might be.
You know what stinks too? Delroy Lindo got absolutely robbed. And if you watch
mean-
the recast of the Oscars, you can see when Michael B. Jordan's about to win, they cut to Delroy and he is leaning there with the biggest scowl on his face. I think he agrees with me about Michael B. Jordan's acting.
I think that scowl was because he fully expected that Timothée Chalamet was going to win.
Yeah.
I think he had seen how the night was going. He was like, "No, we aren't going to win this one either."
Yeah. Might
And
be right.
which goes to another traditional Oscar snub is the African American performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
90 plus years, 23 African Americans have won acting awards. Only 7 for lead performances.
How many have been leads though?
Denzel Washington, Training Day, Halle Berry. What was the Halle Berry one for?
Like we can rattle
Monster?
off a bunch of movies, but like ratio wise, and I know there has to be a cutoff because like there was a time when there were no black leads.
Yeah.
But like we should probably try to figure that out at some point. Like what's the ratio? Because it isn't 50%, 50%. I know that much.
No. But I mean, how many great roles did Denzel have?
A bunch. He should have won for John Q. Hands
Yeah.
down.
He's won 1.
Yeah.
He should have
How many
won
has
more.
Tom Hanks won?
3-ish.
Tom
3.
Hanks has 3
Yeah,
Academy
three.
Awards.
3. I
3.
think it's
That
3.
ruins my argument. I thought he had 1.
Lee,
How
that's
many
Leo.
did-
Leo
how
has
many-
1.
How many
Yeah,
does
Leo has
How many
1.
does Morgan Freeman have?
0.
But what should he have earned?
Unforgiven. Back.
Driving Miss
Oh,
Daisy.
yep.
Driving Miss Daisy is the
Yep.
answer, actually. Unforgiven would be best supporting, and then Driving Miss Daisy would be best actor, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
'Cause is she the
Yeah.
best actor, though, in that? I
She's
don't
the
know.
best actress. Best actress. But you can also go back to Sidney Poitier. That
One
man should have
time.
won.
One
Yep.
award.
Heat of the night.
Once. Yep.
They call me Mr. Bubs.
I don't know. It's difficult for me to.
Forrest
I need
Whitaker
to look into this
once.
more. Yeah, Forrest Whitaker
Will
won one.
Smith and Jamie Foxx are the only ones we
Yeah.
didn't mention in this.
Yep,
Halle
they-
Berry is the only black woman
Which shock. I mean,
for
Color
lead.
Purple
For
alone.
lead,
How many black women have been a lead in a big budget movie that would get the Oscars, though?
Color Purple.
Hidden Figures.
Yep.
Hidden Figures is an interesting one. Were they nominated?
I think
She
must-
Viola,
she must have been-
Viola
yeah,
Davis
she
has been
must have been
nominated for
nominated.
sure.
She must have been nominated.
True.
Hidden Figures had a big year. I think for The Help too.
Yep. The Help was a big
Mhm.
one too. Octavia Spencer.
I mean, really,
so it's in recent memory. There's a few.
Jamie Foxx has one because he had to go and be the biopic.
I don't know.
you
I'm
know?
not defending it. I'm just saying that there's data out there we haven't seen yet, and I don't know if this correlates. It feels like snubs, but I mean,
We gotta look at the data.
but
No
yeah, also
scandals
consider
here.
the fact that the Academy votes semi-anonymously, like they vote. I guess they could call each other and be like, "You voting for The Help?" Nah,
That probably does happen. Come on.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I mean, it's all about the control in Hollywood, and the Oscars stands
Now
out.
they
Listen,
have
I
to watch
mean,
movies.
yeah, up until this year, it wasn't mandatory that you watched the movies you were voting on. So,
Which is crazy. I want to
You know,
recount
I-
on a lot of these films. What? Someone
mean,
to go back and redo
did we
it all.
wind up? Did we really wind up with better results with them watching everything?
I mean, what was the excuse for the
It was
30s?
almost.
They had
It was
to.
incredibly predictable
Mm-hmm.
this year. Very predictable. I don't think there were many surprises.
Did you expect one battle after another to win? Because I thought it was a
Yeah.
close race between that and Sinners, and I feel Sinners.
Sinners
Shoulda
had
won.
Sinners had the momentum, but I
One battle had
thought all
the-
along that one battle
the
was going to
moment.
win because it has the timely sort of politicized element to it.
Plus the star power. I mean, I get it, but Sinners is what you expect a movie to be. That as a film lover, like I mean, one battle enough after another is great, but you had a lot of those pops, the action, the thrill. Sinners is cinematography as a whole, the
And
music. I mean, just everything.
Even in one battle after another, though, they largely ignored the minority performances.
Yeah, they did.
Benicio
Yeah,
del
they-
Toro got nominated, but did you ever think he had a chance to win?
No, because he
I-
played a clown.
But
His role was
I-
like ridiculous.
I think his clown role was better than Sean
Well,
Penn's role. Because
Yeah, I agree with that.
Sean Penn played that role pretty close to perfectly. It's just so what? It's not a particularly challenging role. He's just a tough military guy. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a tough cuck military guy.
Yep.
Like you've seen those guys in almost every military movie ever made. Like it's so
Yeah, American
It's-
Beauty. That's like the guy that kills Kevin Spacey.
but
Spoiler.
all the women in that
No.
didn't win.
No,
No,
and their performances. I'm skipping on the name. Their performances were very excellent.
He doesn't
One
even
was
know their
Regina
names,
Hall,
John.
and one was somebody
Regina
with
Hall,
a T.
there you
he
go.
doesn't even know their name. I don't know their
Um,
names either. They're brand
I
new.
know. Yeah,
brand
I've
new.
never
That's the
seen her in
problem.
anything. It's with.
Did you see how
T.
easy it is to twist things, Ryan?
Mm-hmm. But here to bring it back to Sinners. I think the only reason Delroy Lindo doesn't win, he needed one more scene. Probably he needed one more big time,
Yeah.
like chewing the scenery moment. And watching it a second time, I loved his performance. I think it needed like one moment. And I would sort of go the same way with Annie, or played by Wumi Masaku, because she
Uh-huh.
probably should have been nominated too. She's just missing probably a moment as well.
Delroy should have won for Gone in 60 Seconds.
Delroy Lindo probably should have a couple at this point because he was amazing in Clockers, if I remember right. It's
Yeah.
Yep.
Clockers.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he's great in a few movies. But as far as being a second guy, third guy, he
Mhm.
crushes it. He's great in ensemble casts too.
Yep.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
He's
'cause
never gonna
he-
get a statue.
No, he's not. He's not.
If you didn't get it for this, that's probably it.
And listen, I'm not going to pretend there aren't white actors who have been snubbed. Harrison Ford has no Academy Awards.
I'm
He's
okay
been
with
in,
that.
Anything.
He's been in 8 movies that have been nominated for
I'm okay with
Academy
that.
Awards.
Yeah,
He's
but
not
like, what movie was he in that he played? Like The Fugitive.
Witness.
I mean,
Witness.
Witness is
Witness.
probably the only argument you could make, I think, and it's a good argument to make
Raiders
too.
of the Lost Ark.
No, he was in that one with the Irish guys.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is that? Clear and Present Danger. Wasn't that?
Oh, that
Harrison?
was good. Yep.
Yeah,
Clear
but
and
he's
Present
still,
and
like,
Patriot Games.
yeah, but
Yep.
He
those
was
are
great
the
in both of
Good
those.
films.
these are like, and The Fugitive. These are like those '90s era action,
Mhm.
John Clancy / John Grisham era sort of movies. And well, I guess you could make the argument for A Few Good Men on that too, then. But still, like he's Harrison Ford's acting in most of these things. I think he does a better job in the new TV show he's in, acting
Shrinking.
than he does in most of the movies that he's been in.
Mhm.
The movies are amazing, and he performs well in them. It's just the movies don't demand an Oscar-worthy performance from him.
He
That's my
delivers,
argument.
though. He delivers.
No, but I mean, he doesn't. Like
What?
in order
No,
to fulfill the role,
I'm
like
saying he
Indiana Jones
delivers.
isn't an Oscar-winning performance. It's an entertainment
No,
piece.
there was
Right.
a time in our history where a movie like Indiana Jones would have won a bunch of awards.
It should have.
If that was in the 40s, that would probably be an Academy Award winner.
Like The Mummy.
100%.
The
They
Mummy.
loved those.
The Mummy would have
things.
cleaned up then.
Which one?
The
Right? It's the
Mummy.
same movie.
The Mummy still has some not so great acting performances around it. Some of that is like if you go back and watch some of the Mummy now, some of those performances are a little rough.
I'm sure. But it's like I'm okay with the news that Harrison Ford never won. You know, he doesn't have the statue on his shelf. And I'm sure
But
he's fine with it too, because he constantly says, "Show me the money."
Yeah,
Mhm.
he doesn't
I-
care.
Yep.
What I think ultimately happens, he probably gets some kind of lifetime award because he seems more focused on the TV stuff at this point anyway. And but the Oscars also does this lifetime achievement thing.
Yeah,
Amy
that's true.
Amy Madigan as much won for playing for her role in Weapons as she won for her whole career this year.
Yeah.
Delroy Lindo, if he had won this year, you'd say the same thing. Paul Thomas Anderson won for the same reason because he was probably snubbed at least 2 other times for other movies. Probably better movies than One Battle.
Yep. I was going to say that.
It's the other thing that's like, and this is a recurring thing where the good movie doesn't win, or the best movie, I should say, and their thing doesn't win. And that's because of what it's up against at the time, too.
Mhm.
And then you see like a Leo winning for The Revenant when you're like, oh my God, how did you not win for these other 5
Mhm.
movies? But and The
Mhm.
Revenant's a great movie, but compared to his other performances, you're like, well, he crawls around a lot and he's bleeding and it's real cold. Like, it's not his best performance. I mean, I could act
Mhm.
that out pretty well. Just
Mhm.
put me outside.
It's it's like the Scorsese thing. He went on Departed, but there were so many other chances from the 80s. Like I waved the Raging Bull flag. He should have won it in 1980 for Raging Bull,
Raging Bull's a masterpiece.
and they snubbed him. But it's like an ongoing pattern, though. It's no secret. People see it. It's like, all right, we'll get you later, either 20 years down the line or 2 years down the line.
But I mean, it's a really bold thing to do because you never know. And that's to me is always the frustrating part of the Academy Awards is knowing that something's either a lifetime achievement or a makeup award, and it's not always about the movie that was the best. Like, I mean, aside from the issues Frankenstein had with the way it was marketed and pushed, of those guys, Guillermo del Toro's won. He's got his award.
Yeah,
That's true.
Shape of
You
Water.
know, he's got his. You can honor somebody else and you can make good with Paul Thomas Anderson. But now you probably owe Ryan Coogler.
Yep. Well, one
Yeah.
of the things I don't like about it is because it instills that sense in them that they have to get this one or this one or this one, when it should just be what's up that year,
Yep.
what's the best. And if
Yep.
that was the case, Leo would probably have five Oscars.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He'd probably
Morgan Freeman
think
would probably
more.
have a couple.
I mean, his performance in Gilbert Grape, real quick, is just
That
that
should've been
was
his first.
Oscar-worthy.
That
Oh
should've
yeah,
been his first.
100%. Morgan Freeman. That's like, there's so many actors who
Could
we
Mama Joan
revere.
win
We
for best
revere.
supporting? Could the bed win for best supporting? Actually, if you've seen the movie, you understand the joke there, listeners. It's my favorite part of the movie when the
Oh,
house
that's
collapses.
that's so dark. So dark. Mama,
I killed
I'm just
Gilbert. Oh
Mama.
man, I
That's
can't
such a
rewatch
hard.
that movie because it's so visceral for me. It's like it's too much feeling. I enjoyed seeing the art and feeling the feels, and now I'm like, all right, I'm good on that for a while. It's like watching Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I don't need to see them murder Auntie again. He saved those children, damn it. He's a real hero. Where's his Oscar?
Rick Moranis.
No,
Ghostbusters.
the ant. The
Oh,
ant.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis didn't save crap. Auntie saved those kids. I'll
Yeah.
die on this anthill. All right,
Okay.
I guess we should move
No
on.
pun intended.
Yeah. Back to Sinners. So I think you get a bunch of great performances in Sinners. I mean, I know you're not a Michael B. Jordan fan. I thought he was really good. They sort of did a really good job of the parts where both Smoke and Stack are on screen,
Yeah.
of it
Yes.
not looking like it's like either an image or AI or a stunt double or something. They did a really good job with that. And he did a really good job of creating two separate characters out of this role. Because Smoke and Stack are definitely very different people.
Oh, 100%.
They are. And the script carries that through pretty well with the way they speak and what one does with, what's her name?
Mary.
Mary.
Annie? Is it Annie or Mary?
Annie is
Yeah, Annie
Smoke's
and
lady,
Mary. Yeah.
and Mary is Stack's lady. Like Smoke is the one who's holding the culture. You know, he's the culture guy.
Yep.
And Stack
But-
is changing with the times. But there's your acting with Michael B. Jordan. How can a man who can't act do two different roles at the same time?
He does the
There's
same
your
thing in
proof.
both roles. He reads
They're
the script
totally
for both
different.
characters the same way.
So-
This
No.
I will give this up that he in this movie he does better than he's done in most other movies. But this
I'll-
is
I'll
still
take a win.
this is still the C
A win.
minus performance Michael B. Jordan guy that I always see. It could have been Nick Cannon out there.
I'm
and I would have
gonna-
felt,
Oh,
and I would have felt like he
sacrilege.
would have done the
That's
same
a
sin.
thing.
That's a
No,
sin. Drumline.
I
This
got
could have
to
been Nick
push back
Cannon.
on this one. Michael B. Jordan is so good in this. He is
Yes,
exactly
fine.
what this movie needs.
He did.
I mean,
fine.
but everybody, Jack O'Connell, our buddy
Yep.
Jack O'Connell, showing up as Remick is incredible in the minutes that he
Are we
gets.
we're getting to the vampire. He does do a pretty good job.
I mean,
He does do a pretty good
sadistic.
job.
he's-
I'm not going to
he-
gush over the
sadistic
only
and
white
charming.
guy in the movie
He's
now
the-
that I've just been crapping all over Michael B. Jordan. So he did fine.
he's clearly developed a very good villain persona between
Yeah,
this
yes.
You know what
and
it is,
Bone
man?
Temple. Like he's such a good villain at this point.
Jimmy Christ.
It's wow. He looks so different in like real life
Mhm.
than he does in the movie. That's insane. But it's seeing Omar Benson, right? Jamie Lawson, and Delroy Lindo, and that's kind of the reason why these other performances are so freaking good. Sammy, I can't remember his name.
Miles Cannon.
Miles Cannon.
Yeah, I mean the level of absolute passion that leaks from their performances, and then you get Michael B. Jordan. And I know John, and I'm done now. But like that's what I'm saying is the cast is so powerful in this too. And then the lead is I'm like, okay, it's this guy again.
You mean
So maybe
the
it's my
leads.
bias. Yeah, no, the lead. The lead
And I'm-
with two different jackets on.
I mean, Sinners made other award history as well.
Yes, it did.
You get the first woman to win a Best Cinematography Award, which is insane.
which is awesome.
That one is awesome, but they stole that from Train Dreams. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
throw this out
probably,
there. You got to see
but-
that
We
movie.
love
if you,
Train
and-
Dreams,
Yeah,
No,
though.
I
but-
love the cinematography in Train Dreams, though. Like I
Train-
adore it.
Train Dreams has the same problem Frankenstein had. Netflix
Netflix.
didn't push anything
Nope.
this year.
No, they didn't.
They probably were told not to. It's like, sit back and shut up, Netflix.
I'll
I
push
mean,
Stranger Things. I mean, you got 2 movies that are Oscar nominated. I would have promoted those heavily over Stranger Things season 5.
They were hoping to make another 100
Well-
subs again. People forget they're subscribed for 2
Yeah.
years. And all that
Yeah,
money.
Stranger Things is the money that affords Train Dreams and Frankenstein.
True.
So they're
True.
gonna push that every time, but that doesn't mean you can't push the other things. That's the frustrating part.
They got
'cause
the
you
money.
could have pushed them.
There's got to be an even level of like distribution when it comes to it. And
Well, I mean, the
they haven't figured that out.
distribution is even. It's all there. It's all in the same place. Everybody
I-
has the same access.
meaning
the-
advertising.
Yeah,
Wise.
they didn't put on the Oscar campaigns that these other movies did, and other movies that win do. Like that. I mean, Miramax always understood that. The Weinstein
Oh, yeah.
stole awards for years just based on the amount of marketing they did around getting the award.
They
Good
knew
Will
how to play
Hunting.
the game.
Yeah, Shakespeare in Love is a Best Picture winner.
Ew.
Yeah, it
I
is.
could never figure
I
that
don't
out. by the
understand.
way.
Yeah. I don't
It's the
understand why.
it's the amount of money and advertising they put into winning that award.
Wow.
That was the goal with that movie, win the Academy Award.
And if people weren't watching all the movies, I mean, you keep seeing it. Oh man, this must be good. People said it's good. All right, let's vote for it.
Yeah, I mean, and
Redo.
hopefully some of that goes away with new rules. I mean, I don't know their full enforcement on it. I would imagine it's streamed somehow,
Yeah.
but I don't know that you can. I mean, who's to say you don't just put that stream on and walk away to fulfill the requirements so you can vote for your friend who made whatever other movie?
That's true.
Eh,
It's true. I forgot about nepotism.
I mean, it's also the fact
Hollywood.
that you're judging art, and who's to judge art?
Fair. I mean,
Yep. Art should
I'm
be.
not going to get drawn into this one.
Oh no, I'll get drawn. It film is art, as we're saying. It's like some people like it, some people don't. You know, it's based on whatever taste. Like I just picked up Eyes Wide Shut. Some people love it, some people hate it.
I like when
I
the
like
rich
it.
people put on the Illuminati masks and have an orgy.
It's one of the
that's-
best part of the films.
Yeah, it's like the whole movie to me because that's all I remember watching when I was 13.
It's you know what? It's the lore that goes behind it. That after released, Stanley Kubrick dies mysteriously of a heart attack 14 days later.
Boom,
It's
boom,
that
boom,
like,
boom.
yeah, it's like that like hidden connection. Like, is this what really the elite does? But people hate it because of it.
I
and they
mean,
think it's
Epstein
wrong.
files are out, so I think the word is out. This is exactly what they do. Oh boy, I wonder if YouTube soft bans for Epstein files.
I don't think so.
I did.
Probably-
I learned a new
probably
list of
not.
words. Yeah, you're probably right actually because it's getting clicks.
Probably
But-
gets promoted.
Yeah,
Epstein. Epstein. So back to it. Well, we're about 55 minutes in and we haven't even done a review yet.
Oh, this could be a really good rant. So, do you guys want to hear what, before we give you our opinions, do you guys want to hear what some other people had to think of Sinners?
Well, yes.
yeah, I do. But
Yes,
it's
you do.
it'll be a travesty if someone gave like a half star, 1 star, because
No, I'm sure these
Yeah,
are
no.
cogent reviews that are fair and
Yeah,
balanced. And
I'm sure. I'm
and
sure.
they're
Sure.
not fair. Nothing's
I-
fair.
I'm sure no one was racist in their review of this movie. So to start with, it took a little digging to find the bad reviews. This is 97% critic score on Rotten Tomato and 96%
I'm in the
audience.
minority being so critical of this film.
96% audience score. So like Sinners hit for a lot of people. 5 stars. Very twisted and intense. You won't be able to take your eyes off the screen because of how much action and tension there is. Michael B. Jordan was excellent as always, but Miles Catton really surprised me and was fantastic too. Lots of unexpected moments throughout the film. Another masterpiece from Ryan Coogler.
100% agree. Agree
I
with that. Everything.
2% agree.
To me, this is. I've seen most of the Ryan Coogler movies, and I mean, I think it's pretty well established. I'm not a Marvel, DC kind of guy.
Yeah.
This
Black
is
Panther
for
was
me.
good.
For me, this is light years above anything he's ever done.
Agreed.
That's fair.
This guy doesn't think so. 1 star. This is the dumbest movie I've ever seen. It was so bad, I made a Rotten Tomatoes account just to make sure it doesn't keep the 97% review it has at the moment.
Still does.
What a jerk.
And that this is the second time a review you've read has claimed that. It might be the
Mhm.
same guy, dude.
Mhm. How did this win an Oscar? It didn't. The plot was weak, acting was mid, and the horror lasted 20 minutes.
Yeah, but I bet you he loves From Dusk Till Dawn. This,
I'm sure
the
he
acting
does.
is
Well,
not
for
mid.
many reasons.
Please, once again, do not let my hatred of Michael B. Jordan's acting skills overshadow the phenomenal acting done by this entire cast, minus Michael B. Jordan's.
Weak
Sacrilege.
plot. We spent the whole first 20 minutes of this episode detailing how he weaved so much history into the plot.
Yeah,
Yep.
This-
for real.
If you've read a book, you understand.
Well,
the
I think
amount
there
of
you
detail.
go, buddy. I think
Well,
there's the problem right there. In the
if
books
our
that
wo-
you read in school, we're like, wait, we did what?
Mhm.
No, we didn't. My dad told me
Eh.
we didn't.
And if our 1 star hasn't read a book, our half star probably needed help typing his review.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Half star. Degenerate, disgusting, filthy, and filled with lies. What
Ooh.
lies, I don't know. If you could clarify what lie is told in a fictional movie. What a lot of woke BS. Trash movies like this only hurt black people by making them look horrible. So first off, I would like to know what in this movie makes anybody look horrible.
I mean, it's
What happened in Mississippi?
they're probably
You're-
leaning on the fact that they're running an illegal, contraband business. But if this was a bunch of white people doing the same thing, you'd be thinking like, oh, we're Bonnie and Clyde, and you'd be cool with it.
Yeah. Have you watched any Prohibition set movie and you were fine with that? I just said before, is The Breakfast Club one of your favorite movies? Because that's white people behaving badly.
Well, what's the one with Shia LaBeouf and Tom Hardy? Lawless.
Lawless, yep.
Yeah, Lawless is like, yeah. I mean, if you like Lawless but you hated this, then you're a racist.
Did you hate Roadhouse? So
Roadhouse.
Hey,
Listen,
I love Roadhouse.
Thi-
Don't touch
thi-
that.
This is simple. I know we've said going through the course of this whole podcast, we didn't want to get terribly political. This is not a political statement.
Oh,
Human
you're fine.
rights, equality are not political.
Yeah.
If
agreed.
this is your reason for not liking this movie, this is a you problem. You are a racist.
Preach, brother.
Period. Full stop. You don't have to like Sinners. There are reasons to not like it. It's
I like
fine. It's
Like it now.
it's fine to not think Sinners is the best movie ever. It's fine to watch Sinners and say, it feels a lot like From Dusk Till Dawn. That's fine. I think you're wrong. I think you've missed a lot of the point, but it's fine. But if your
Or they got the
reason,
point and they don't like it.
if your reason for not liking this is because it's a black movie, because the white people are villains, you're a racist. It's 1930s Mississippi. Who do you think the bad guy is to the black guy?
I thought it was the
The
birds.
Chinese couple?
Oh,
It's the white people.
Oh.
No matter what you do with this movie, if you're setting it at that time period, and you are not, and the white people are the good guys, you've written the wrong movie. You've written the racist movie.
Yeah, they're not
Yep.
the good guys.
And at the end of the day, one more bit of this rant. At the end of the day, Remick is not a racist.
No, he's not.
If you listen to him talk, it's community, it's freedom, it's unity. The first two people he bites sure as hell are racists.
Yep.
Remick is not.
Yeah, he gets the Klan's members, so we associate him with the Klan.
And if you don't stand up the last 5 minutes and cheer when Smoke is mowing down a ton of Klansmen, if you're not cheering at that moment, you are the problem.
Yep. Agreed.
End rant.
Yes, I like you as a person because your outrage is very righteous in this,
Yes.
and it's aimed in the right direction, at least according to my moral compass, and I just enjoyed that very much.
Thank you.
And I always agree with you, and you're Jesus. So,
Yep.
So,
I mean,
that said, how many 5 stars do we have here?
I'll go last for dramatic effect because we all know I'm going to be lower than you guys. You
Go
gave
ahead,
this-
Ryan. You can start.
5 out of 5. It just does everything right. The writing's great. It's an original screenplay. Coogler hits every beat. It gives you a backstory, builds up on the horror, and when the horror hits, it keeps the audience wanting more. I mean, it also kind of gives the audience the control because when people are walking into the parking lot and the vampires are there, they're like, oh, that something's gonna happen, and I like that. You're not you're suspenseful on some things, but you're not, and on the other part, and it's a nice balancing act. So 5 out of 5.
It's a perfect movie.
I think it's a perfect movie. Yeah, you want me to be 4.75?
That's what.
4.75.
Don't let him talk you off of your 5. You had a 5. Don't get talked off of a 5.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, John.
He got talked down.
Go, John.
happened.
I'm going
It influenced
5.1.
him.
5.1.
You are not talking me off of my 5. To me, there are 4 movies that came
You
out
did a
last
5.
year.
Okay.
4 movies that came out last
Really
year
good at it.
that I believe are perfect 5 out of 5 movies. They are Begonia,
Yes.
One Battle,
Yep.
Frankenstein,
Yes.
Yep.
and Sinners.
Yep.
These 4, if any one of these 4 had won Best
Did you say
Picture, I
5?
would have been fine. I think Sinners should have won because of all of the significance, because of, as we talked about to start this episode, how much time Coogler put into
Yep.
building the world. I mean, this could have been an hour and a half vampires attacking a juke joint movie without any of the buildup, without any of the history, without any of the things that make that significant. And it would have been a fine horror movie. It would have been fine. He took the time and the effort to create this world. He managed to get these performances. It's beautifully shot. The music, I mean, we've talked about the music, but the score too is just fantastic. And that's probably as big a snub as this movie faced.
Yes.
Was not winning Best Song. And I understand the K-pop Demon Hunter song was a juggernaut and nothing would have beat it. But so Sinners 5.
It's not even the best song in that movie that I watched with my kids 400 times, by the way. What it sounds like is the far superior song in that movie, but Golden won. So, okay. Whatever. And also Sinners should have won that. Hands down, you're absolutely right.
Yes.
The ending of this movie is so phenomenally good and well done, by the way. When I was watching it, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I've been highly critical of the movie the entire podcast, everybody, but I did love this movie. My dislike or disenchantment with Michael B. Jordan doesn't take too much off the top. This is a fantastic movie. But the ending was where I really thought this thing was going to fall apart. I really thought he was going to bomb. Because he took the Michael B. Jordan, the Jordan Peele sort of algorithm that had been going around for these movies, and he added real soul to it with Sinners. It was a period piece. It's a movie about Black America. It's a movie about what their experience was like in the South, and it pulls in all this culture and everything. And it's not just like Get Out, where it's like we live in a house and they live in a house over there, and they're gonna steal your body. Or the other ones. There's so much depth to this film, which makes it phenomenal. But I really do think the ending really cinches the deal. If you guys, I'm not going to mention because some people probably will listen to this without having seen Sinners.
And this is the least we've ever spoiled a movie.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think that's by design, to be honest with you. I don't want to spoil this movie.
No.
I give this a 4.5. I give it a 4.5.
How about 4.75?
Nah, and I can't go up to 475, buddy.
I mean,
You went
I
down to
mean,
475 though, so that's good.
I mean, you can. Oh no, it's written down 5
It's not a
stars.
perfect. It's not a
History
perfect
books.
movie. There's some smears in it and stuff like that. And I really do think the worst part of this movie is Michael B. Jordan's acting. I really do. But Coogler crushes it in this. The ensemble, the rest of the cast, too many to name, all have breakout performances, best performances you could ever hope to expect. The level of detail in the wardrobe and everything else is an unbelievable movie. I would have loved to see this win Best Picture this year. Obviously, I want Train Dreams to win, but that's because that hits me so uniquely as at where I am in life. And I worked on the railroad, and the movie's got the railroad, and it's a period piece and all that crap. But I would have been delighted to see Sinners win over One Battle. I think it's a better movie. I just do.
I do too.
Yes.
And
I
I love One Battle.
Yeah,
But-
One Battle is good too. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't doing devil's advocate. I was just being super critical of what I was critical of for the movie to the show. But it is a fantastic movie.
But I think it works to have a balance too with how much Ryan and I liked Sinners.
Piece of shit
it's
movie.
good. It's good to have a little bit of balance in there, or else it's just, now an hour and 10 minutes
want-
of us raving about a movie.
I don't want
Yep.
people listening to think that that's what I was doing. It's just I wanted to make sure that I got my points home on the. I didn't even talk about Remick doing the Irish the jig
The Rocky
because
Road
you
to
brought
Dublin.
up. Well, you brought up. Well, yeah, when he's river dancing, and I was like, the Irish weren't slave owners because John brought up the fact that Remick isn't a racist. But
Nope.
if you're watching the movie, and you're me, and I'm not fully Irish or anything, but you're watching it and you're going, wait, but that makes it seem like the Irish were slave owners. Were they racist? Probably a lot, yeah, but they were also they weren't much higher on the social totem pole than Black Americans at the time either. So like I had a problem with that for such a long time. And just doing this show tonight, John kind of shut me down on that.
Well, I mean, really, the first two people he bites are not people who would have been slave owners either.
Now they're poor whites.
Yep.
They're poor. They're usually the most visceral and venomous of the whites. The poor whites.
Yeah, well, that's who they're competing with. That's who
Yep.
the elites have set the system up for them to compete with.
Indeed.
But then that'll get way political. We'd be on here for another hour and a half if we start going down that route.
We're going to roll on the top fives for sure because we're already long on this episode.
All right. Top fives. Top fives tonight. I went with top 5 Academy Award winning, in which horror took home an Academy Award, and we're going to start off. This will be quick and painless. Don't worry. I prepared for this one. We're going to start off with number 5 at the 72nd Academy Award, the 72nd Oscars, nominated for Best Cinematography and Best Costumes Design, but winning for Best Art Direction was Sleepy Hollow, the
I forgot about
1999
that.
classic. When I was doing the research, I was pretty shocked it won an Oscar, but thinking about it, it was the art direction was done really well, but the cinematography, thinking about it, like that Dread, but like being upstate New York, Tim Burton did it very
I
well.
was going to say it's Burton, so that's why.
Oh God, yeah. But it works in that.
It
type of
looks like a
story.
Burton movie.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Which we're going to go to number 4. We mentioned it earlier in John's top, slash and stash. I'm saying top 5, top 10, but slash and stash. And that's at the 90th Oscars, winning for original screenplay, nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor for Daniel Kaluuya as Chris Washington. That was Get Out. That's at number 4. So I slashed it, but I kept it. Number 3, we're going
Pegged
to no.
Up on the board, he pegged it.
Well,
You
Better.
pegged it.
Pegged it real good.
I pegged it real good, yeah, with a thumbtack, which leads to
And they
number
were
3.
saying, get out. Number 3?
Number 3, the 15th Oscars. It was nominated for music scoring and sound recording, but won art direction in color and cinematography in color, and that was Phantom of the Opera, 1943. It was the first Universal horror film to win an Oscar, the only one, as well as the first film to be in color. You have other movies at the time, Mark of Zorro being one with Tyrone Power. They tried to change it from black and white to color, and it didn't work. Phantom of the Opera with Claude Rains did. Yeah, it's Universal had more money. I think Marcus Zorro was Warner Brothers, so their colorization didn't work. It did not work. Which leads to number 2, Rosemary's Baby. I'm just gonna give it off. Yeah, 41st Oscar. It was nominated for Best Screenplay, which I believe should have won. Polanski did an awesome job, but supporting actress Ruth Gordon won for a mini cast of it. And that leads to number 1, named after our podcast. Nominated for art direction, but won Best Visual Effects at the 52nd Oscars was Alien.
Yeah, that's a well-deserved win too.
Oh, I cinematography should have been up there for it, I feel, but art direction being nominated is cool. Visual effects at that time for 79, I'm not a shocker.
It's a puppet and a guy in a suit, and
I
the way they made the ship. Also, people forget the beginning of the movie with them landing and the atmosphere, the mist, and everything. It was pretty good.
oh god, I
Pretty well
mean
done. for the time.
Cameron took that award 2 years later for Aliens.
Yeah, he stole it.
Well, he did, and then
stole it.
he stole it from The Thing. Oh no, 86. Aliens was 86.
The
Yeah.
Thing and Aliens was the same year?
No, The Thing was 82.
Oh, I was gonna say, what a freaking travesty.
I in that case, what would you choose, The Thing or Aliens?
The Thing is the
Yeah.
thing. I love Aliens. Aliens might be one of my favorite, like, of that movies in that genre and stuff like that, where it's action horror-ish. That's probably like Terminator and all that stuff. I think Aliens beats even Terminator 1 for me. I love Aliens. Terminator 1's a great movie too. People forget about that. Like Rocky 1 versus all the other movies, it's a different thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Terminator 1 compared to all the other ones, it's a different thing. Terminator 1 is a masterpiece. But Aliens, I love it so much.
Oh, that was Cam.
Mostly.
I mean, imagine Cameron saying if they only asked me to do Alien 3, he would have done it. Just
can you
saying.
imagine? Can you imagine?
The alien dog from Cameron's mind.
Right? The bull alien, they named it later on. Because isn't that the one that came out of the cat?
Is it the cat?
Yeah. Xenomorphs take on the DNA traits of its host creature. So yeah, isn't that interesting? Anyway, we could talk about that for about 10 hours, so we're not gonna. John?
Oh, mine's gonna be in a similar vein. I'm gonna be really short. I don't have descriptions of movies because it's all movies you should know. It's 5, technically 6 nominated and or winning performances. So my number 5, we're gonna start with this year, and Amy Madigan for Weapons, which, I mean, I really, really love. Weapons was such a good movie, but it's so much better because of her performance. That it doesn't work without somebody pulling off that role the way she does. My number 4 is Kathy Bates for Misery. Again, that menace that she brings to that character, really kind of out of nowhere. Like, she wasn't a particularly known actress at that point in time. And here she is with that menace and fear instilling performance. My number 3 is from Shadow of the Vampire. It's Willem Dafoe.
Oh, nice, dude.
That's good. Yep.
He's
Nice.
so good in that. It's such a good movie. I feel like that's one of the horror movies that was pretty ignored.
Has he won an Oscar?
No.
I'd have to look.
Yeah.
I don't know.
believe so.
I don't know that that's a no. He might have one.
I'm looking it up.
I would have to look. I don't know that. Off
Oh,
the top of my head.
nomination. Okay, he was nominated for 4 Academy Awards.
Oh.
Nominated.
Yeah.
He has no wins. That's crazy.
None wins, dude.
That's crazy.
Nominated
What's his
for
face?
Platoon.
Brendan
Didn't he play
Fraser
Jesus?
beat him. Brendan Fraser beat him one year.
Didn't he
Yes,
play
he did.
Jesus? How
Last
did he not
Temptation,
win for
right.
playing Jesus?
He
Oh
didn't.
my-
He didn't even get nominated that year for it. He got nominated for Platoon, Best Supporting Actor, Best
How-
Supporting Actor for Shadow of
How
Vampire.
does he not get nominated for Jesus?
J.K. Simmons beating him for Whiplash is okay. I accept that. But oh
Not
my
tempo.
god,
It's not
I-
my tempo.
not my tempo.
Not my tempo.
Oh
my
my
number
God,
my
dude.
number 2 is a twofer.
Ooh.
So we're gonna go to Carrie, and it's Sissy Spacek and Piper Laurie were both nominated that year.
That's cool.
They really, really nailed their roles in that. And my number 1, we're gonna go back to a movie that Ryan brought up, or well, that we just discussed. Aliens and Sigourney Weaver,
Ooh.
Best Actress nominee for Aliens.
Did she? Yeah, she didn't win it, right? Who beat her that year?
I don't know off the top of my head, but she's another one with no Academy Awards. 3-time
That's
loser.
also a travesty.
Yeah, it is. Get your
3-time
hands off her,
loser.
you bitch. 3 times. She was
3-time
nominated 3
loser.
times.
Yep.
And
She was
Aliens?
nominated.
She was nominated
Aliens,
for Aliens, right?
Gorillas in the Mist, and Working Girl.
Oh, Marley Matlin for Children of a Lesser God.
I mean,
Who's? I have trouble with that one because I've never seen the movie, but it sounds really bad. I'm sure it's great.
that's tough. She ends up winning probably because of who she is. Marley Matlin,
Yeah,
Yep.
and deaf. It feels like one of those that the Academy Awards really
they had to
would
give to her.
always fall for. They'll always fall for that.
You know what I saw her in, by the way, first was that stupid movie, The Secret or whatever. No, What the Bleep Do We Know? And she plays the character in it the whole time, and she's, deaf. So she sounds the way she does in it and all that. And it adds like a layer to that movie, which is filled with scientific lies. Anywho.
So that's my
Anyway.
top 5.
All right. That was a
Nice.
good top 5. Both of you
Very
guys.
good.
All right.
good.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I guess that's going to be us wrapping up. Sinners.
Go
Yeah,
sin, people.
baby.
Go sin. And have a good night.
See ya.
Be very